Wow. Hello, everybody. I'm live as opposed to dead, which is just weird. Am I right, folks? Okay, this is a very impromptu live stream. And the reason for it is, and like, if you want to like talk booktube stuff about this, I read the form and I read it hard. So it's pretty okay. The racing form, that is. So what I was gonna do is I am going to be going over what my picks are for today's card over at Santa Anita, the great race place. Okay. Now, I want to throw a couple caveats out here. Um, Going hard um, on the horses over the last year, I picked up a couple things. Before that, it was more of a something that I would do here and there just for shits and giggles kind of thing. Um, but there are some things that I've actually noticed, and one of those things is that as soon as somebody does what I'm about to do, it seems that they are not good at their job anymore. So like you get the people who get paid to tell you what their picks are. Now, from what I've seen, most of the time, those guys only get maybe 2 races right out of an 8 or 9 race card. Now, there are times when I'm like, are they only doing that to get money off the horse they really want to bet on all the other races? Because they're not fucking stupid. If I come here and tell you all the horses I'm betting on and expecting like the odds to stay down, because obviously there's so many people watching this and they're going to listen to everything I say, they're going to go run out and put money on horses and fuck my odds. So I don't really think that's the issue here. But I realize that it's just people talking about their um, their plays, how they read a card, how they pick winners, and the whole deal. So I thought I would go over it because since I spend so much effing time doing this, I would talk to you guys a little bit about it. So, first off, we have here in race 1 a maiden special weight. Now, one of the things that I have learned is that the more maiden races there are on a card, which is usually almost every other race, the more I get piped. Okay. Piped in the keister. And every once in a while, you could just by falling onto the right horse by luck or whatever, figure out a good maiden race. Now, this one in particular is really tricky because if you look, none of these horses have done anything. Okay. Not a single one of them. So, what a lot of people do, they go by works and they're like, oh, this horse has a bullet work. This horse has a bullet work. And I have decided that I think judging horses based off of works is like judging someone's ability to do things in the sack based on how they touch themselves in the privacy of their own home. It's not really the same thing. The end result is the same, but actually, what is happening to get to that point are two completely different things. So I don't really know if that's the best way to judge it, but you can go, oh, well, shit. This horse has a couple bullet works. This is good. That's nice. Whatever. And then you also have people who were like, oh, well, shit. This horse is the kid of this horse, and this horse came from that horse, and that horse was really good. And so this horse should be really good. And that's fair too. I guess there are people who base all of their betting on pedigree. But someone who comes from being a fan of professional wrestling my whole life, I know that more often than not, the kids of a professional wrestler, that does not make them a professional wrestler. And when you try to force it, sometimes bad things happen, and then other times it doesn't. Sometimes it's a good thing, but those are few and far between. So now that I've said all that, on this race, I went with the 2-horse Major Nyquist, um, which is a Doug O'Neill horse with Hernandez riding. And the only reason why I did this, if you go to Santa Anita's website, you could get this information, like the facts and figures and shit. Hernandez has the best, with the exception of Johnny V, who's kind of missing at the moment. He has the best percentage for 2-year-olds, which is what this race is. At 40% win percentage with 2-year-olds. And then let's see, what do we have here for O'Neill? And O'Neill has a 23% with 2-year-olds. So I figured that would be a pretty solid bet. And as we go through this, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about stuff like with this race here. The second race, this is a Acclaim. Hello, Acclaim 12,500. This one here, it's a mile on the dirt track, and the horses that I think out of the 5 horses that are on here, it's probably going to be between the 4-horse Zara, which is a Steve Knapp horse with Herrera riding it, and the 5-horse Best of Show, which is a Dialba horse with Ramirez riding it. Both of those are moving up in class just a tinge, and in the last race they had together, Best of Show beat Zara by a neck. But Starship Defiant, the 1-horse, it's a Ruiz horse, and Curatolo's riding it. Now, let me just say something. Everyone's losing their fucking mind over Curatolo winning 4 races in one day last week, which is awesome. And Curatolo's like no slouch, okay? But I don't know. I feel like you need to do this repeatedly. But like I was checking some things, and like people are like, "Oh, Curatolo's hot right now," you know, and he might be, but we're not going to find out until the first couple races go. But what I was going to say, if you like doing exacta boxes or exactas or trifectas or anything like that, the more exotic bets, this race I would say would be a good bet for anything like that, because you could throw, even if you, but like the odds are going to be kind of shit probably by the time this goes off. So, oh my goodness. Okay. So we have what I was getting at was Starship Defiant. If you did an exacta with Starship Defiant being the kind of the fastest horse out of the gate, if you look at its breaks coming out of the gate right here, he's in the top 3 in almost all of his races except for 2. But he can't close the deal. He's only won 2 races out of 12. So I think throwing him, like, he'll be the pace leader, obviously. But then throwing in like Zara on an exacta with, so an exacta with the 1 and the 4 would probably be solid as shit. You might even be able, like, if you're feeling really saucy and you want to do something crazy, doing an exacta with like the 2 and the 4, or the 2 and the 5. So anyway, but I'm thinking it's really going to be between the 4 and the 5 horse on this race. So moving right along, what do we have next? Oh, we have another maiden race. Why? Because they don't want you to ever win a daily double or a pick 3. So every chance they get, they're going to throw a maiden race in here to fuck your shit up. That's why your pick 6s are littered with fucking maiden races with horses who've never run. And that might be a topic for another day. But on this one here, I'm just going to, and here's the other thing. I don't bet maiden races anymore, like especially ones like this. It's too, like, it's anybody's guess. So if a maiden race comes up that is where the horses have no information, you might as well just find whatever, like the 7-2, in between 7-2 and 8-1 or something like that, and just throw $2 on it and just see what happens. Because that information, just doing that, is probably as good as you spending hours going over the form trying to figure out whose works were better and all this other shit. But again, it's a 2-year-old, so I'm going with Hernandez on an O'Neill horse. So it's 2 Satin Doll. The odds, morning line are 8-1, but they'll probably turn to shit. But like I was saying, like 7-2, you have Frey on Cherry Chaos. You also have the 6 horse Bravo on a blacker horse. That's nothing to get crazy about. That might be fine. Okay. So then the next race, what is it? Oh, it's another maiden race, a maiden 40. So in this one, we have a little bit more information on the horses. The horses have ran a bit. Still maidens, haven't won anything yet. On this one, let's see. The 2 horse, so it would seems to be, the morning line seems to think it's going to take all the public money on that, and if that's the case, that's cool. And in a situation like this where there's not that many horses in the race and a horse is under even odds, what I typically do is I'll either just go, okay, well, let me try to exact this, or let me try to find a good odds horse that could at least come in second. And I'll do like a kind of big place bet on something. So on this one, I might go the Papa Padromo horse, Sweet Heidelberg, the 4 with Frey on it. And there's no real rhyme or reason to this. It's just, you're not going to get any money coming off the 2, so you're just trying to find a horse to beat it. If the horse is really going to kill it like they think it will. But then again, a couple weeks ago, I got, I can't remember what the odds were, but there was some horse that was like 1-2, and everyone was like, oh, this horse is going to kill it. And I'm like, oh, fuck it. And so I meant to go put money on, it was actually a Bravo Papa Padromo horse, to do a place bet on them. And I ended up doing 10 to win. And I fucked up. Sometimes you have to be very careful of what you're doing. But I ended up winning that race. He ended up going around, and I think I got like $38 on that. Maybe it was a $5 bet. I can't remember now. But I remember it won, and I was shocked because I didn't realize I put a win bet down. Okay, so I think there is a fire. Yeah, that looks smoky out there. I think there's a fire. Okay, anyway, we'll try to jam through this real quick since I think the neighborhood's on fire. Okay, so race 5, we got a mile turf. Now, this race here, it's interesting because I think everybody is going to either go with the 3-horse Bud Knight, which is a Leonard Powell horse with Hernandez riding it, or they're going to go with the 7-horse Goldini, which is a Philip D'Amato horse with Vasquez riding it. Now, this is D'Amato's only horse on today's card, and I'm curious to see what tomorrow's card is, since it's the Belmont Stakes tomorrow. I'm interested to see if, like, what they're gonna have at Santa Anita, because I almost feel like, since the Santa Anita meets ending in like another week, that everyone's kind of holding their good stuff for Del Mar now, which is kind of sad. There's just a lot of trainers, a lot of there's just a lot of stuff in here that I haven't really been seeing much lately. So anyway, Bud Knight, the 3-horse, and Goldini, the 7, is probably where everyone's money's going to go. But the 2-horse, Never Seen Before, which is a horrible name for a horse, I think. It's having a pretty decent drop to get in here, and I don't know. The 4 is a crazy bet, and the 6 I don't think is going to be able to do it. Rosenquist. That's kind of up in the air. So if you think you can the 3 or the 7 with any of these guys, then knock yourself out. I wish you luck. That would be pretty good. Okay, but this race, this is the one I'm looking for here. It's race 6. It's a OC20, 5.5 furlongs on dirt. Now, this race here, the 5-horse Tizzy Twister. It's a Steve Knapp horse with Vasquez riding it. I won $74 on this horse a couple weeks ago. So I'm very happy with its chances. And what's even better about when you have a horse that just won a race when it drops in class. I know that's not what horses should do when they win. They should just keep moving up that ladder. But holy shit, I'm not going to fucking flinch at a fucking drop like that. And then probably the 3-horse Coalina, with Maldonado riding it. It's got a really great early pace. So that horse and probably the 1-horse Increased Stakes will set the pace for the race. And then other horses that I think are going to end up taking a lot of the public money right off the bat is the 4 Vela, which is a Jonathan Wong horse with Bays riding it. And I also think Annie Graham, the 5-2 Miati horse with Frey riding it. Now, here's the thing, and I'll just say this, and this could change once we get to Del Mar, okay, in a couple weeks. But the Golden Gate horses have been doing abysmal like this meet. It, like, seriously, I mean, yes, 1 or 2 have won, but I think they're just not performing. But Miati's percentage is actually really good. I think it's over 50% for just being in the money. So on a race like this, if you were to do like a trifecta, let me throw a trifecta box at you, okay? If you did the 5 Tizzy Twister with the 3, you know what? I'll even let you go the 3 or the 1, and then throw the 6 on there. I think that's a pretty solid exotic for you there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the 7 race, 6.5 furlongs turf, an OC 50. What do we got here? What did I like? Okay, so M is for Magic at 7-2, the Curatolo horse, because everyone is convinced that Curatolo's on a hot streak right now. Basically, every Curatolo horse is going to be bet down to shit. So that is the plus side you have today. You also have Hernandez, who is always hot, winning at least one race out of every card, it seems like, sometimes up to four. He's on a 15-1 horse in this race. Do I think the horse is any good? I don't know. It would be first off of a win. Hello. I don't like betting maidens or horses that just broke their maiden because it's going to be the first time against competition. Sometimes they win, but it's very, very rare that they do. And so we have Aventap, Mark Glatt horse with bays on it. The 7. We have Dee's Delight, which is a son of Dee's Nuts. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. It's an O'Neill Rispoli horse, which I think is pretty good. But here's the thing. Here is the other thing here. So this horse here, we got Founders Day, which is a Bob Hess horse with the legendary Mike Smith riding it. Now, Mike Smith is kind of on a streak, kicking ass. He is winning at what is this? Is it? Did I say this was turf? No, this is dirt. No, wait. No, this is turf because the next one's dirt. So on the turf course, Mike Smith is going at a 21% winning average or percentage. But when I checked his routes to sprints, his sprints, he's only at 12%, whereas his routes, he's 27%. So even though, let's see, because if you look at his last 3 races, second, third, and those were all sprints. I don't know if Mike Smith's going to be able to take that. So this might be, and Rispoli's pretty good on turf, but typically with your turf races, you don't necessarily want a closer, but a turf race isn't the same as a dirt race. Like, it's not just like run as fast as you can and then get to the race. And out of these horses, there's only one horse with a good late pace as opposed to its early pace, and that is the 4, which is another Golden Gate horse. So that one, this might be one that Mike Smith can actually win. I don't know. Okay, so but those are my picks on that. You're like, what picks? You didn't fucking say anything. So I'm gonna say the 6 and the 7, or the 7 and the 8 with probably the 6. So I'll probably ditch one of those based on what the odds are as the thing goes on. Now, the 8th race, OC 50. This one, check this out. There are only 4 horses in this race, okay? So your odds of doing anything are pretty good. But that also means the odds for all the horses are going to be pretty shit. So this is one of those times when I'm like, okay, if there's a horse that's taking all the money and there's a horse that has, usually if it's over 10-1, if you just bet that horse to place, you should be okay. And then even if you're but see, like just on the morning line, you have Tayet, the 3 horse, at 8-5, and then the 2 and the 5 are at 9-5, and then Princess Mo, the 1 horse, is at 5-1. These odds are gonna fucking get, like, by the time this race goes off, these odds will not look like this. So, who do I think is gonna win? I think it's probably going to be the 3, Tayet. But do I think any of these horses could upset? Yes. Do I think any of these horses could come in second? Yes, that's a stupid question. But yeah, so I tried to make all these arguments for how Princess Mo could win this race, being it's the horse with the more favorable odds. And I can't really come up with a good way. But what I am going to say is that the 5-horse Sunny Lane, it's a Steve Knapp horse with bays on it, and the morning line is 9-5 on this. Normally, I wouldn't touch this horse with the 10-foot pole. It's only won one race, ran one race, and it won that race. So it broke its maiden, its first race. But where was this? It was in Indiana. Okay, now Santa Anita. Okay, basically what I'm going to say, things you learn about a track do not transfer over to other tracks. The tracks are different. The competition at that track is different. And some things that work at Santa Anita as handicapping goes will not work at like Sam Houston or at Turf Paradise, at least in my experience. I know there's people who bet different tracks every day, and they love it and it's fine. It sits weird with me. With that said, though, I do remember earlier this meet, a horse came from Indiana with some ridiculous shit like this and fucking eviscerated everybody. Okay. And I lost a little bit on that motherfucker. So on that race. So I would say back off of that. But the other thing with horse racing is you can win. You could pick the winners in every fucking race. But if all those winners are short odd fucking motherfuckers, you're not going to make any money. And you might actually lose money making bets on these horses. But you got to find a couple horses in there that the odds are good enough. Oh my God, this truck's trying so hard to get up this hill. Jesus Christ, buddy. This fucking guy. You came all the way up here just to turn and go down the hill? This fucking guy. Look at that. Truck full of concrete. What the fuck is he doing? All right. So anyway, so that's that. And then finally, we have the 9th race. And what's the 9th race? What's the race that's going to determine all these motherfuckers pick sixes? It's a maiden 50. Of course it's a maiden 50. Why the fuck wouldn't it be a maiden 50? This one's a little bit better than the 2 at the beginning of the thing because these actually have some information on them. And again, we go probably, and then we go what we think can beat the public horse. Okay. So team concept with Hernandez on it, it's a 5-2 morning line. That horse is probably going to be taking all the public money on that. But we also have the 8 horse, which is Rock the Bourbon. It is a Papa Padromo horse with Joe Bravo on it. And it is doing a class drop in this race, and it is a mile turf. And honestly, as much as Bravo pissed me off that day, he fucked me out of a Cedillo win because he said that Cedillo hit his horse. You can't really argue Bravo on turf. Let's see what his percentages are again on this. 18% on turf, and where are those stats? And 19% on routes. So that ain't bad. That ain't bad. But anyway, so I'm going to check real quick to see if there's been any scratches because the races are going to start in about an hour and a half. And depending on what the scratches are, okay, it looks like race 3. Get the F out of my face! These motherfuckers. There's 87 fucking horses in this race, and the only one that scratches is mine. Okay, so I'll have to fucking write that down. So again, in the third race, the Hernandez O'Neill horse, Satin Doll, has scratched. So that means it's either going to show up tomorrow or Sunday. Um, oh motherfucker, these fucking guys. And then also they've moved the rail out to 30 feet on the turf. Um, and what that means for me is that the post positions aren't going to matter as much on the turf as they normally would. And maybe that's a topic for another day. Um, okay. And so in the eighth race, Jesus, are they trying to fucking make me go crazy here? Are they trying? Are they trying to make me lose my effing mind here? Where the fuck is the eighth race? Okay, so remember Princess Mo, that class drop I was talking about that probably has no way of winning this race? Princess Mo's gone. So now this race only has 3 horses in it. If you can't pick a winner of a 3-horse race, maybe you should stick to checkers. Okay. That's going to be my fucking thing here. So we have Lizette, Tayette, and Sunny Lane, the weird ass horse from Indiana. Okay. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, put your kids' college fund on Sunny Lane. Okay. Because there's no information on that fucking thing other than it just won in fucking Indiana. No, don't do that. Honestly, I really strongly recommend everyone just do like $2 bets. Just do a couple $2 win bets and see what happens. And if you want to have like a fun like dollar exacta or a 50-cent trifecta, who gives a shit? And then like, I don't know, ask your mom to pick a bunch of numbers and colors and then do a 20-cent pick 6 because somebody's got to fucking win it, right? So sometimes the pick 6 is better than others. Oh, but wait, there's more. We have a scratch in. Oh, that's okay. In the 9th race, Acoustic Shadow scratched, which was an also eligible horse that was a Wong horse. And Wong has not been doing great this meet. It's just because most of his horses are Golden Gate horses, and Golden Gate horses have been second the proverbial schlong. Okay, so those are my picks, and maybe I'll come back on later and let you know how I did. Hopefully you do okay, and if you do, let me know. And other than that, I will be back in just a little bit. And probably by then, some more of my horses will have scratched. But just remember, stay away from the maidens or just pick a number at random. Get some darts, throw them at your racing form when it comes to a maiden race, because that's pretty much all you need to do there. So until next time, everybody, I will talk to you later.